Howdy, folks. This is Charles Deering. Y'all have heard of me, right? I hope so, because you're here watching. But thank y'all for being here. And tonight's guest is somebody I've been friends with since the mid-2000s, and I'm tickled to death. But his name is Mike Williams. And if any of you want to take just a second or any time during the show to go see what his work looks like, it is Mike'sScrollSawPatterns.com. There's two S's in a row on that. Mike'sScrollSawPatterns.com, and you'll see why I love his work and why I'm excited to have him here. So I guess you can call me a fanboy. I don't care. He does good work. But I'm gonna go left to right, and we will introduce everybody, and I will introduce our guest last. Thank you for everybody in the chat. We have 25 watching now. Good to see. And dropped to 23 when I said that, so I'm not wearing them enough makeup. But anyway, okay, we're going to start from my left to right. Al Forte out of, God, I don't remember.
Right down the interstate, right down I-20 in Odessa.
Oh, Odessa, duh. Odessa Woodworking.
Odessa Woodworking makers, just for fun on Facebook, and I have a couple of videos on YouTube also. And glad to see everybody here. Well, I guess I don't see you guys, but you see me, and I guess I see you over in the chat.
Why don't you see us?
No, I mean
you're on the chat page, so you can't see us. Okay. Yeah. There's old Shane and Rusty Nails, and I used to know his name. Paul's in here. We got Nealon's Wooden Treasures. That's my website guy, which I need to mention. Harnail Media is my sponsor. I'm looking right at my monitor, but it looks like I'm looking off to the side. But anyway, Steve Nealon. Harnail Media is one who does my website. He's out in the chat. Thank you so much for being here, Steve. That is my website. Woodenvisions.com, over 1,400 scroll saw patterns and 6 instructional scroll saw how to make scroll saw pattern DVDs. Not how to make the DVDs. But anyways, they were DVDs. Now they're downloaded. You know what the heck I mean. And by God, I couldn't have done it without a bunch of help from Steve Nealon. So thank you, Steve. I got to remember to look at the camera instead of the monitor because I'm totally twisted. But anyway, it's not about me. So let me get over to Donna Presley, Donna's Wooden Art. Tell them about where you is.
Hi, everyone. In Alabama. You can find me on Facebook and YouTube and webpage, Donna's Wooden Art. Just type it in for all of it, and you should be able to find me.
My God, y'all can stalk her, and she's giving you permission. And we also got Shane and Shelley out there. We got Mark Weiss, Michael Bennett. It says we're lagging very bad, and Dave Gatton's out there. Sorry about the lagging. I don't know how to fix that. Next we have Rob Austin of Gwinnett Woodworkers. Welcome to the show, Rob.
Yeah, myself. See, I don't think about that after I mute myself. Rob Austin, Gwinnett Woodworkers Association, and I live in Lawrenceville, Georgia. I love to be on here with Charlie.
No, diddly. Checks in the mail. Don't tell anybody, okay?
Yeah.
We also have CJ Phillipson. Thank you for being here, Rob. CJ Phillipson is out there, and all that. I'm trying not to get distracted, but now that I have two monitors, I can finally watch both. Next, we have Paul Corliss out of the Mitten State, Michigan. That's one I remember.
Yeah, Michigan, where we never get hurricanes. I'm Paul Corliss from Paul's Messy Workshop. That's Paul's Messy Workshop on YouTube, Paul's Messy Workshop on Instagram, paulsmessyworkshop.com, which is almost a website. And I appreciate you having me on, Charles.
Thank you, mister. Glad to have you. We also have Andrew Rose, who's a big fan of Mike Williams, and he just finished Mike Williams' design called Time to Rest. It's a deer pattern. He said it was fun to cut. And we also have Dave Hart. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you our guest, Mike Williams of Mike'sScrollSawPatterns.com. Mike, tell everybody where they can find you on social media, and then we can just ask you all kinds of weird questions.
I'm on Facebook, Mike'sScrollSawPatterns.com, the group, and I welcome anybody that scrolls to join the group, share their cuttings and their designs, whatever, with us. And I'm found online at www.Mike'sScrollSawPatterns.com. That's my website where I make my living. What little I get from it. I spend most of my time just. I'm retired, and I spend a lot of time drawing. It's therapy for me. I suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm a disabled Vietnam veteran.
Sorry to hear that. Thank you for your service, by the way, but I'm sorry for the other stuff.
Thank you. But I enjoy scrolling. I've been scrolling probably 40 years, 45 years. I've been designing since 2006, what I call serious designing. I was doing a lot of patterns for my own use prior to that, but I got talked into by someone to reach out. I have, and I've enjoyed it. I enjoy scrolling, and I enjoy the people who are involved in scrolling, like a family.
Awesome. I'm sorry, I'm multitasking here, and I kind of suck at that. And Eloy is saying, don't forget to shout out Hardnell Media. I done did, Eloy. You're a little late to the party, baby. A couple of people talking about my DVDs, and but the show's not about me, but thank y'all very much for the kind words about them. And real quickly, Miter Mike, if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and hold off on introducing you because I've already gotten into the guest, but it's not personal. I just think it would sort of throw off the momentum of the show. That, and a lot of people know who you are. Miter Mike, Michael Anthony, Murray Senior, something or other on Facebook. We have David Jones of Portal Woodworks, last week's guest. He's in the chat. And we got, a bunch of chatting. So I need to stop looking over here and talk to my guest. So Mike Williams, a lot of people don't know this. He's also a bluegrass rhythm guitarist for a band called True North Bluegrass, or at least True North. TRUNORTH. You can look them up. I think the website is True North Bluegrass, or at least on Facebook. It's True, TRUNORTH is all one word, and then Bluegrass, and you'll find them on Facebook if you're interested. Bunch of folks that love to play music. Okay, I'm trying to think of everything I wanted to ask you because we talked about so many things yesterday, and I said I was going to ask them on the show. I had to pretend I hadn't heard them before. Now, you've already said how long you've been designing. What got you inspired to start designing, and what made you choose the method you chose?
That's a long story.
Well, we'll have a 3-hour show if we need it.
I was befriended by a designer that I thought a lot of, and that was Jeff Dino.
Yeah.
Jeff was my mentor. He actually came down after Hurricane Katrina, and I took him on a tour of the coast, showing him the damage. And he looked at some of my work, and he wanted me to pursue it. So I spent time with him, catching on to some of the design techniques and usages, and from there it just kind of branched out. He told me that it was time for me to get on my own and make something out of it, and that's what I've tried to do.
Yeah, I remember when Jeff Safino came out on the scene. I was an up-and-coming designer wanting to get big, and then Jeff Safino comes out and he's blowing me out of the water, and I'm saying, dude, please. And so I playfully gave him heck about it, and then he was a good mentor to have. Of course, we won't get into it too deeply out of respect for him, but he got into copyright trouble and sort of left the scene. But out of respect for him, I won't discuss what I don't know all the facts about. But I know a lot of people are going to want to know. I know you told me yesterday. What do you use and how do you make your patterns? I know we talked about there might be a chance you could make one on the.
I do 99% of my work in Photoshop.
Okay, Photoshop for those.
I use the Photoshop Creative Suite extensively. I use Inkscape to transfer my patterns over to PDF files. I just recently started getting talked into trying to do my patterns in grayscale and black and white. And so I went and extensively put a lot of time in and redid all my patterns in grayscale. And then I used Inkscape to convert them all to PDFs. And that's pretty well on email patterns is the way I sell them now. You have a choice on the site when you order. It gives you a choice of email or USPS, and it also has the choice for color, whether you want it black and white or grayscale.
Yeah, I think most people go for the grayscale because their blade gets lost in the black ink. If I had a clue, I would I would outline all of mine in red because I think it's a contrast color. But I think that's why most people are headed towards grayscale, or at least asking for it. But I noticed I had somebody point out to me that was looking through your website that you offer to mail them it physically on paper. That's something I didn't know you did.
Yeah. All my patterns, I can print them on paper, and I send them out in the mail, and I don't charge any postage. I just never could figure out a fair way to do that, so I just absorb the postage on all my patterns. But yeah, I do a lot of patterns. All my patterns are on hard paper.
And that's admirable because I only offer mine digitally because I'd go crazy trying to keep track of mail and stamps and costs and oh Lord. I got distracted again. Dang it, Mike. You get used to this about me. Crap. How long does the average? Well, okay. One thing you told me yesterday that I'd like to mention to people is not a lot of people know this. Not all, but a lot of Mike's scroll saw patterns are from photos he's taken because he lives in I have trouble with this word, a rural area. And so he takes his own wildlife photography. Not every single pattern, but not a lot of people know that about you, is that a lot of them are based off of your own photos, so copyright's not an issue.
Yeah, that's been a passion. Where I live right in the edge of 30 or 35,000 acres of wildlife and preserve, and I go in there a lot, and I photograph deer, turkey, ducks, squirrels, geckos, whatever I see out there.
Yeah.
And I'll convert a lot of them into patterns from there.
That's awesome. I'm hoping you're still able to work one of your. The reason why I asked if you could do a simpler one on the air is I know you might be pressed for time. Although people are okay with long shows, I know that a very, very, very detailed one can take many hours. So obviously we wouldn't want to subject you or anybody else to that. You know, the time pressure right there. But do you have any kind of relatively simple photo that you could show people in real time how you are at least part of the way?
Where did I go with?
Oh, to screen share. This different on the live hangouts. If you move your mouse around, you'll see all the icons off to the left. You see that you click the second one down. It's a green one with a white arrow in it pointing to the right.
Okay.
Not the toolbox, but it'll say screen share. You click on that, you click on full screen, and then you choose what to share, and I will present you, and that will hide the panel. But I'll make sure you're screen sharing first. I think this is a treat because I've never gotten to see somebody design a scroll saw pattern the way you do it. Are you still with us, or did you freeze up?
Yeah, can you see that?
Not yet. It's locked up on my end, but I have a feeling you're screen sharing because you're locked up on my end. Can anybody else see him or see his screen? Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you. Okay, I can hear him, so I know he didn't leave the hangout. Are you still with us, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a picture up on the screen.
I don't know.
Let me go down. Find out what I just did here.
Okay, because you're what we're saying on the screen is
now I'm back there.
Right now your image is frozen on the screen like your camera locked up. But okay, now you're screen sharing. It might just be lagging. It could be Google. lagging.
I stopped sharing.
Okay.
How's that?
Now we can see you, but maybe we can try to share again. It might just be a lag on the end of Google, on Google's end, because every now and then they have glitches.
Yeah, I saw like a brown and blue image. Maybe I was hallucinating, but I saw something when he switched.
Yeah, right before you stopped screen sharing, I saw myself, which is terrible in itself, but it meant your screen sharing. It means screen sharing was working. And yes, I'm dogging myself, but it's for humor's sake. Would y'all rather have that or God, I'm sexy? I don't want to even read the comments right now. Or maybe I do. No, he didn't turn off his camera.
You see his gray screen?
Okay, yes, I have. There we are. Okay, we are screen sharing. I'm going to present you. That way it will hide the panel.
Do you see it?
Yes, sir. I do see your gray screen.
All right. Do you now see
Yes.
the bear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's a pattern I'm working on that I started from scratch. I just started drawing.
Alrighty.
And, I'm working on it, and I'm about 30% complete on it. I've got a long way to go, but basically, I use it. I'll use it as an example in Photoshop. I pick my pencil size or my brush size, and we'll do a 10 white here. I have to get him up to. Let's see what I got to do now. I got to get him up to size.
Okay, now because the screen is somewhat small and we have no way of zooming in, although you have thus far, if you can let us know what tool you're clicking on for those that might want to know or that kind of stuff.
I just enlarged it to 100%.
Okay.
Can you see that with mostly all big white lines?
Not yet, but maybe I'm not looking or it froze up. I don't know.
You should see should be seeing a lot of white and black lines.
If you mean the pattern you're working on, I see the pattern and I see the toolbox off to the left. But if you're doing anything to the pattern, I don't see it.
Okay, I was taking out some black
Oh, whereabouts?
around the nose.
Okay, because all I'm seeing is the pattern.
I think it's froze up. You don't even see his mouse moving.
Okay.
It doesn't want to work for me either.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. Okay, people on the there. Okay, there we go. It suddenly zoomed into the mouth. Okay, I think there's just a lag on Google, so it's not your fault or mine. Maybe we can.
Let me try this.
Okay. I don't think it.
I saw that menu open up.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody sees you on the screen now, or not you, but the pattern.
Oh, there's that time to rest. I'm real pleased with that.
Yeah, that's the one Andrew Rose was talking about in the chat. I love your work, man. I love it.
Okay. And I'll use this one I showed you yesterday, Sean.
Alrighty.
All right, here you have a leopard asleep.
Okay, if you don't mind waiting just a bit because we're still frozen, it still sees you choosing the photograph. And I'm sorry, it's not your fault. Okay, there's the leopard. We see it now. Or cheetah, whatever it is. I can never tell them apart.
The first thing I do is desaturate it. I take and desaturate the picture and take all the color out of it.
Okay.
Once I do that,
every now and then you'll hear me repeat what you're saying because your audio occasionally breaks out. He's saying he desaturates it, and I don't remember what you just said.
now I'll play with it.
I don't think he took that picture. Dave Hart is asking if you took that photograph.
I got this photograph by permission from a photographer with National Geographic.
Awesome, awesome. I'll let somebody else be in charge of the questions from the chat because that's not fair to the people that I usually have do it. Donna or Paul can jump in if they have a question. But go ahead. Yes, sir. You're adjusting. I can't see.
Adjusting the brightness.
Brightness and contrast. Okay.
I'll find a spot I like, and I'll tell it okay, and from there I can start adding in or taking out color. I mean, black or white.
And what do you consider, you know, a spot where you like it? And honestly, I see that right there, and that really makes more sense. It changed as I was asking the question. Yeah.
What was the question again?
Well, the question was when do you know, or what do you look for to balance the brightness and the contrast? But as soon as I said
I think of it as a negative.
Yeah, the picture changed, and then I saw what you actually did to it.
Yeah, I think of it as a photographic negative, and I manipulate it from there to on a comfortable place. And after that, it's all artistry. You have to hand draw everything.
And that's where the time comes in, I imagine. Now,
all that black that's just around, I'll take it out.
okay, I can see you scribbling over there. I imagine you usually use a bigger brush.
I use a lot bigger brush, and I'll blow it up to about 200%.
Okay.
Where I'm seeing nothing but big splotches, and really I can't tell what my pattern's going to do until I actually bring it back down to print size or bring it back down to screen size and look at it. Then I go back up to 200% and manipulate the blacks and the whites.
Now, during this manipulation, you're doing all this on a tablet, right?
Yeah, I got a pen tablet.
Okay, so he's not actually doing it on a computer screen. His results are showing on the computer screen. He's doing the actual work on a tablet.
Actually, it's called a Huion, Huion. It's they're not very expensive, and if you're going to be a designer, you just about got to have one. I mean, you can't drawing with a mouse is just so hard.
Oh yeah.
Is it a digitizer tablet, like a Wacom tablet or something like that?
Yeah.
I believe you said yours was with a Eureka or something like that? Or am I...
What was that again?
What was the brand name of your tablet? You told me yesterday and I forgot. Huion?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, I'll shut up and let you continue.
Well, I just messed up.
What'd you do that for?
I don't know how I did that.
I don't even know what you did. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I was going to say he hit Control Z and undid it, but Charles, I think he...
yeah, he accidentally... it's a live show. What can you do? Yeah, he'll be back, hopefully.
Charles,
He
what does grayscale and black and white, what's the difference?
Grayscale is gray, like a black and white photo. And, or it could also be, and yes, Mike has rejoined us.
I'm back.
You're back. But right now we don't have your photo. We just have your profile picture. But yeah, grayscale is like a black and white photograph, and black and white is literally black and white, like you saw him working on the screen. If that makes any sense. Grayscale, it's
What's
hard to.
yours?
Grayscale shape.
You can grayscale by manipulating. I use manipulation and making it grayscale. It's not a complicated process, but it's kind of time consuming to just get your stuff transferred over into Inkscape, then draw it, get it blown up to the size you want it, and then actually tell it to turn the image gray, and then you want to go back in the image and stroke your line. So you go down and you do the stroke, and once you do the stroke, it becomes a grayscale pattern.
Okay, for what it's worth, Mike, not to interrupt you, but your camera is not on. It's showing your profile picture playing the guitar. Can you click on the
Wonder
camera?
how I can get it back.
click on the camera icon and then click on it again, or until it makes you show up. I'll put the camera on you. Yeah, there you are. There you are. Okay. Now, did you accidentally hit?
I'm learning.
Now, you probably did what most new people do. Did you accidentally hit the red phone when you were trying to do all that, and that's what kicked you out?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get this up to where the camera where you can see. If you can you see
the tablet? Yeah, let me move the panel out of the way. I'll present you again. Present everyone and then remove panel. Yes, we can see it when you held it up.
Got a button on it where you can actually grab, stab and grab and move, manipulate your work on screen. And then, of course, this is the tablet pen, the battery, chargeable. It's rechargeable. I'll draw it, start skipping and jumping, and then I have to plug it in and use it that way.
Okay.
But I'm seeing me, and I'm not seeing you guys.
Because I hid the panel so that they can see what you're doing. If you want a screen share, you can. It's completely up to you. I think people seeing you do it will get a better idea of how it's done. Not that we don't want to see your face, but I mean, if it's easier for you and everybody else, we could just continue to ask questions. It's if y'all could monitor the chat and let me know what the audience wants to do, if they want to see him continue to work on it, or due to technical things, if they just okay with us asking questions and answering. And
I'm not real good at
teaching
as an instructor. I'll tell you that.
I hear you. It took me a while, Dave.
I got it all up here in this empty space in 5 little file folders, and I pull it out when I need it. And believe me, I forget a lot as I go too.
Okay, yeah. Let's to make it easier on you. Although it would have been kind of cool to see it. To make it easier on you, I think people that are familiar with Photoshop can probably get away with asking questions. And I know we had the idea of God, I'm sounding like Steve Good now, and I always teased him about that. It was ideal to see you creating one, but I also get that that's not always doable with technology and the way that Google is lagging, because I know it was lagging pretty bad, and it wasn't just you. It was even before the show started, people said I was lagging. If anybody in the outside chat has any questions regarding Photoshop or anything specific in his process, feel free to ask. And anybody here on the panel that would like to ask a question, please feel free. Whether it be about his bluegrass, his personal life, his patterns. He has dang good pattern pricing. I remember that. I'm not looking at the site right this second, but what, $5 and $6 on average? And Miter Mike just bought one from you. So if you get a purchase from a Michael Anthony Sr., that was Miter Mike right there. Y'all are welcome to unmute yourselves because, whatever. Unless you got little Germans and puppy dogs yapping. Okay, somebody say something. I'm getting self-conscious.
Yeah, Bella is the one that would be yapping, but she's been pretty quiet today.
Hello, Bella.
I guess we can let her be on.
Okay, I think David Jones is being a little bit sarcastic, saying, "What's Photoshop?" So, buddy,
Photoshop, real user-friendly program. It's and I tell you, I've been through it since 2006, and I still haven't learned it all. It's just I learn something every time I sit down here and go to fooling with.
Well, I think you're like me in that you use it for what purposes you need, and it's by accident. Sometimes you learn something else, and yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Another thing Mike and I have discussed in the past, we went to each other a lot for advice, because when I started, not a lot of people don't like this, but when I started raising my prices, he said, how is that working for you? Because it takes both of us a long time to make our designs, and I said, well, it seems fair. Because it takes a while to make them. But somebody talked to me today. Matter of fact, I believe I'll respect privacy. I don't know if he wants to be mentioned, but he was saying you're probably doing it the best way regarding pricing, because once you know, it may take you 2 or 3 hours to make a pattern, but 3 or 4 people buy that pattern, it's paid for the hours. You know, however many hours that you think is worth it financially. And
Well, you have my pattern inventory is not as extensive as yours by any means, but
that's because you have a life.
Most of my patterns, I have as much as 90 hours in the drawing and
Wow.
getting it where I want it. And then some patterns take me as much as 3 and 4 months to really get the look I want. Because I don't just throw a pattern out. I want to have something that when you get through, you have given it life. And the scroller, the actual scroller sitting down at that machine and cutting, that's the one that gives my patterns life.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just a guy that puts lines on paper. It's all the scrollers that makes it art. And each individual, when they cut one of mine, is cutting an individual cutting. No one can cut it like you.
Absolutely. Real quickly, Mike, I don't mean to interrupt. Donna's our go-to question and answer person from the chat, and I see 2 questions out there, but I'm gonna let her do her job, even though she may not remember she was hired for it. But there's, I believe we have one from Jeff Robinson and Andrew Rose. If you wanted to.
Yeah, Jeff Robinson wants to know what's the model number of the drawing tablet.
The model number? Let's see. It's an H610 Pro.
And Andrew wants to know, is there a pattern that you want to make but may not have the time?
May not have time to make it?
Yeah.
I don't ever have a pattern I don't have time to make.
He's retired and I have no life, so I mean that makes those things easy. Okay, is there a pattern you haven't found a good enough photograph for,
Yeah, I'll do that a lot of times. I'll take a photograph, and when I get back and upload it to Photoshop, I find the darks and lights are not compatible to what I want to do. So what I have to do then is if I want it bad enough, I have to hand draw it.
And I imagine that adds to the hours, because if you're like most artists, you're picky about it. Yeah, it's real quickly. Did anybody write down that model number so we can repeat it? I was multitasking.
It's on the inside chat.
Okay, Donna, would you mind copying and pasting that to the chat, because I'm too lazy and I want to keep asking questions.
Hey, Mike, do you actually cut your designs, or do you actually scroll, or?
Yeah, I like to scroll. That's a passion of mine. I've got an Excalibur, so
Really?
And it's an EX21 model. I've also got a DeWalt, and I've also got a Cracker Box Craftsman that I started with way back before there was anything drawn out to scroll. You had the big pin-in blades and stuff, and it was really something to. Oh boy, I got a new order.
that was probably Miter Mike, the guy that just asked that question. Right. Was it the what was the one you just bought, Mike?
Say that again.
What was the pattern you just bought, Miter Mike?
Bless the Children.
Is that the order you just got, Mike? Yep. That's him. I'm telling you. I feel sorry for people that don't know about you, because if you're into detail like I am, of course, I mean, I love y'all, and I hope you'll go to woodenvisions.com, but don't forget about MikeScrollsawPatterns.com. There's a very detailed religious theme.
Here's an example of Bless the Children.
Oh, okay, the one. Okay, yeah, that's beautiful.
Is that black and white or grayscale?
That's black and white. I have it both ways. I had an order for it, and it was an email order, and I sent it to him, this gentleman, and he emailed me back and said his he couldn't get his computer to do what he wanted, so I sent it to him hardline, and I did. I sent it to him through USPS. I can do it either way, email or actual mail.
And I think that's admirable because that's putting more on yourself. And I just offer mine digitally and send people to rapidresizer.com, or they go to Kinko's, and that's not because I don't care. That's a lot to keep up with. Now, Mark Lindsay from the chat was saying, welcome to Tom Spillane and Florence Lady, by the way. $77 is all that tablet costs now. I don't know what it cost when you bought it, but wow, that's quite affordable.
It's affordable. It's a very affordable tablet.
Most definitely.
It comes with a your pen comes with a little container, and inside it you have extra nibs for your pen.
Or like the thickness and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can actually change out the pin point in the pen, the actual nib.
Yeah.
Are they one size and the replacements, or are they different sizes?
They're all the same size.
Okay.
Sorry, I was going to say, Donna, if you want me to, I can read some of the stuff in the chat, but some of the ones that are saying they bought his patterns, if you wanted to read those comments, you don't have to. I don't want to push it on you. That way he's getting the feedback as well, because there's people out in the chat that have bought your patterns, and they're saying which ones they bought, Mike.
Oh, right. Right.
It's up to you, Donna. If you want me to read it, I will.
Let's see. Well, I had a minute there where my computer was messing up and everybody just sounded all jumbled, but it's cleared up now. Florence Leedy bought 2 of his bear, one named Bad Breath. I think the other one is an owl in a tree.
Yeah.
Jim Brown says the detail is amazing, which I was just trying to pull it up, which with my connection I should have known better. But what I did get up looked awesome. Jim Brown said just finished the Bully, and it was over 1,000 cuts to finish it.
Yeah. Bully was a very complicated piece. I found that photograph somewhere. I don't even remember. It may have been in a magazine. And I detailed it out. But when I started designing it, I wanted the elephant in the background, but I wanted those birds on the limb on front. And that was quite a challenge to get it that way. And I wound up with over 1,000 cuts in it. So
wow, man. And I thought my patterns were scary. Okay, one example of, and I don't have the website open in front of me, but I've seen a lot of your patterns. One that looks beautiful, but probably scared the average person with the amount of cuts is probably the pheasants. I don't know what you call it, but the pheasants like at the corner of a fence.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of cuts. CJ Phillipson was wondering, he said he was just talking with his wife, and she said, oh God, I hate those tablets. She always had trouble with the connectivity. Do you have issue with connectivity?
I have no issues with my tablet.
Huh. CJ Phillipson, tell wifey to get the Huion H610. Yeah, you read the chat because I can't.
Now, do you have Photoshop installed right on that tablet?
The tablet itself is just USB. It connects to the computer.
Oh, okay. It's like a writing surface that connects.
You actually draw.
Okay.
You're actually drawing on the screen, but you're using a tablet. That you got to learn your depth perception. You'll be down drawing here, and you want your cursor over here, and then you forget where you're at. And you sometimes
you got to make a little scribble to remember where you left off. Yeah.
Sometimes it'll make you say ugly things.
And he was telling me yesterday he doesn't cuss much, so I have to watch my mouth when we're not on the air. Because I'm like a Boy Scout on the air, ain't I, folks? Anyway, Florence Lady said another one she got was a Glade Creek Mill. I think you and I both, and quite a few designers have done different Glade Creek Mill designs, if not other, water wheel based old barns and stuff like that. But okay, so
one of my more popular patterns It's called Glade Creek Mill.
Yeah, that's what
Actual
Florence would do.
mill up in the Virginias, up in the Appalachians. And I designed that from a photograph they sent me from the city of, I can't remember the name of the city, the little town sent me a photograph of it. And I created it from there. And it's hanging in their city hall. But I have sold several of those. I really like the grits mill, the old grits mills and stuff. I'm more of a still life. I'm not real good with doing portrait type drawings like Charlie is.
You could have pulled me. You're dang good at it.
I wish I was as good as Charlie is on doing human portraits.
Quit. Oh, thank you very much. That's very heartwarming. I'm gonna let Donna catch up because I know people are commenting and asking.
We have Florence also has Tiger of India. Where's the other one?
Oh, Andrew Rosebud.
Just got Gobbler and Hen's pattern.
Yeah, that's an actual photograph of mine. I took that photograph in the Pascagoula River Swamp. All my turkeys that's on the online, my designs were designed from photographs I took. You know, a lot of them did.
We got another question. Dave Hart wants to know if you know how many copies of your patterns do you think you sold over the years?
Ooh, I don't know. I have good times and bad times with my patterns. I'll design out of 15 or 20. I'll put up new. I might not sell 2. But then again, turn right around later on, and a year later, they get popular, and I sell a whole slew of them.
Hell yeah! I mean, yeah, I could say hell. Damn, we're all adults here.
Dave Hart actually asked how many patterns did he sold over the tiers. In other words, how much have you cried over those patterns?
It was actually a typo, but yeah, he corrected himself, and Al's making fun of that. That's funny. I've shed a few tears over my patterns.
Hey, Mike. Here's the real question: spiral blades or flat blades?
Spiral.
I love you, Mike. I knew we were friends for a reason.
Flat blade in my whole time I've ever cut.
I did it one time, Mike, and I did it.
Flat blade was when I had the old Craftsman with the pin in blade.
I used the flat blade one time, Mike, and I did it live on the air, and that was so laughable. It's on one of my old videos, but
I'd make a mess trying to do it with a flat blade. I use a #1 spiral for just about everything.
Wow, #1. My saw will not allow me to go any smaller than a 3 without breaking. I have #3 and #5.
I use 2/0 a lot.
Wow, 2/0. That's like half of a human hair.
What's the smallest that they make? What's the smallest blade they make?
In a spiral.
It's called a nano blade. You have to just take your word for it. It's on the saw.
Hey, Charles, did you know that for your saw you can get a smaller set of blade clamps for small blades?
Yes, I fear change, and I cut things the size of a billboard. I don't know why. Florence Lady was saying, with the years of designing, does he have more patterns? Do you mean, does he have more patterns than me, or
does he have more than what's on his site?
Oh, do you have more patterns than what's on your site? Sorry,
I do have patterns that's not on the site that are in processes of being completed. My whole inventory is online. That's all my patterns that I have.
10-4. Thank you for that, Dave Jones.
I spend so much time. I spend so much time trying to put realism into the pattern. I want it, if it's a dog, I want it to be a real looking dog.
Yeah.
I want to capture. I like to capture their expressions on faces. And such. I'm real particular about when I post it and put it out. I'm satisfied that the person that's going to cut it's going to do a wonderful job and have fun doing it.
Absolutely, and that I believe that shows in the quality of your patterns. Real quickly, I need to address somebody in the comment. Dave Jones of Portal Woodworks said he still hasn't seen his Navy ships pattern yet, and that's because I've been updating my website. Got that done, and then I've been adding a little extras to it, trying to get it more user friendly and productive. But I have not forgotten about Dave. I keep wanting to call him Davy Jones, the dang Pirates of the Caribbean and crap. Anyway, that I was paying attention and wrote notes on the show where we all had suggestions out there, what patterns they'd like to see out there, and I will get to it. I just have been spending a lot of time along with Steve Nealon of Harnell Media.
I know. I can never really put my finger on what the general scroller wants. What I think and what the people want, a lot of times is a lot different.
Yeah.
I just put my heart into it, and I go from there.
Well, another thing, and I am talking about me and Mike in general. I think a lot of designers do this, but I'm sharing some of the conversations we had yesterday. I always thought it was just me that saw pattern designing as therapeutic, and he said it was too. He mentioned he had PTSD. Y'all have heard about my panic disorder, but keeping your hand and your mind busy, don't go there. It is therapeutic. So I mean, it has its benefits. And if Mike's anything like me, then when you're in a lull and not getting requests of any certain kind, which I have had, but in the past, you find yourself cutting things you would cut, or designing things you would cut, or at least things you would like to see. Even though, Mike, if you're anything like me, if you cut your own designs, you kind of hate yourself for all the detail while you're doing it, but when you're done, it's a sense of pride. Yeah.
If I had to buy this, I'd never spend the money.
I love it. You can't pay for comments like that. That's funny.
David from Portal Woodwork said he just bought the Indian pattern.
And that was your latest design, the Chief.
Yeah, I just posted the Indian pattern. That is from a. You're gonna laugh when I tell you this. I got that idea off of a tattoo that someone had on their leg.
What's her name?
No comment.
Did you get any bruises while getting that photograph?
And I took that idea from there. I have two of them that I just out that I got ideas from people that had a tattoo, and that's the one with the wolf, the horse, and the eagle's wings.
Yeah. Now, Jeff Robinson in the outside chat, I don't know what it is he's talking about, but he says if he could find a pattern of the CV-64, he might try to cut it. And that sounds like some kind of military vehicle. I have no idea what the heck it is.
I don't either.
It might be a Navy ship.
Or it might be a Corvette 1964 one, maybe.
I have no idea. Why don't you enlighten us, Jeff? And Mark Lindsay, I knew he said leg. I wasn't in the gutter. Yeah, because I can't even defend myself on that one. But Jeff, if you can elaborate on what a CV-64 is, then we might be able to help you there.
I saw the U.S. Constellation is the CV-64. It's a big aircraft carrier.
USS on Constellation. Okay, yeah.
Jayhawk class super carrier.
God, I got to write that down now. Good Lord. Okay, wait, that sounded like I was complaining. I wasn't. I better write that down. CV-64. Y'all talk like I'm not here. No, because I was going to say, I'm afraid what y'all say if you pretend I'm not here. USS Constellation aircraft carrier. All righty then.
Just do U.S. Constellation CV-64 Wikipedia.
Okay.
You guys thought I was smart, didn't you?
And now Dave Jones wants a CV-62. Okay, so that's two of them written down, and Mike's probably going to start right after the show while I'm still babbling to people, and he's going to get it out before I do and steal my sale. I'm just kidding, Mike. It's open market, baby. I mean, they're if you want the information I just wrote down, I'll repeat it to you after the show. However, it's the USS Constellation. There's a CV-64 and a as in Charlie Victor, 62.
Yes, correct.
62
CV
is the
six.
independence.
Yeah, CV 62 is the Independence.
I'm not very good at those engineering type drawings.
Oh, I love because that's more straight lines and stuff.
That straight line, I'm not real good at straight line drawing.
CJ Phillips.
I guess you can tell because everything I do is it's got a lot of squiggly detail to it.
Yeah, squiggly detail is probably the best word for it.
I'm left-handed, so
Oh, you're a southpaw. It's funny because Dave Hart was joining the crowd, said he wanted a CVS, and got it dorky from there. That's a pharmacy, Dave. Anyway, does anybody on the panel have any, whether it's scroll saw pattern related or site related or anything, any kind of question for Mike? And as usual, anybody out there?
Just like the pattern called Time to Rest.
Time to rest. That's a pattern of a deer.
Yeah, laying in the brush, I believe.
Laying by a log. That's from a photograph taken in the river swamp.
Awesome. Now, Mark Lindsay says Squiggly Detail is a great name for a garage band, in case you're interested.
And I have a question.
Okay.
If you email the pattern, because I always like to do mine by email, what size does it come in? Do I need to resize or?
They would come in 11 by 14.
Okay.
That's just about all my patterns. I have very few patterns that are smaller size, 8 by 10. I have very few of those, but most of my patterns all are 11 by 14.
Good to know. Thank you so much. Andrew Rose saying both Charles and Mike's patterns get me dizzy while cutting, but I love them both. Thank you, Andrew Rose. I hate myself when I'm cutting my own. That's just me, but that sense of pride when you're done. And I know I've said it before in public, and I'll say it again. Miter Mike, the guy in the pink cap that's looking down, he's practically brand new to scrolling, and you cannot tell it by the look of his work. He blows me out of the water. I mean, he started nasty. He started with one of my patterns, and that's suicide.
That's good. That's what I started with. I started with doing patterns like you do a lot, Charlie. I used to do it all hard line on paper, and then just glue the paper to the wood, or either I drew it on the wood.
Huh. Yeah. I trace mine onto the wood because to me that's also therapeutic. A lot of people don't get that. That's probably the word, but for me it's therapeutic. I'm getting a strange echo from somebody, but I don't know which. And Mark Weiss wants to know how do you print those? Is it on a home printer or some kind of big old?
I have a commercial office printer.
Okay, I need you to send me one of those, Mike.
It's an HP Pro 7740. It's got 2 trays. I got regular paper in one tray, and then I got my 11 by 17 in the bottom tray.
Okay.
It's a professional office machine.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to mail me one of those, please, Mike. I'll put it on my tab. I'm just kidding. What file types are your patterns? PDF only, or?
Do what now?
What? Excuse me, I have a little gas bubble there. What file type are your patterns? Are they only offered in PDF?
No, I offer my patterns in JPEG or PDF.
Okay, JPEG, JPG, or PDF?
JPG. I have in JPG, and I also have them in PDF.
And you also have them mailed to you.
I can convert them to other types, but it takes me, that's extra work for me, but I don't mind doing it.
Yeah, and as Donna just mentioned, okay, somebody's got a really bad echo, but Donna just said they can be mailed to you, and he's one of the few designers that still does that. I don't know for sure who does do it.
Yeah, I do mail them to you.
That's awesome. God, I had a question in mind, but a squirrel ran by, I guess. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah,
or whoever.
Mike, you said you've done this for a long time. Did you start off with online scroll saw clubs like MSN and stuff like that?
Yeah. I had a. You talking about the saw?
No, he means the
Just in the scrolling itself, did you start off with like the MSNs, online clubs and stuff like that?
yeah, like internet based. Yeah.
When I first started scrolling, Stephen, not Stephen, but oh, for goodness sake, she's written 3 or 4 books, has several books. Spielman.
Patrick Spielman. Yeah.
I cut a ton of his patterns, and others. Like that's where I really got started, and did it on the back porch and sitting out there in the cold and overheated, or either too cold to cut, and I stood out there and cut. I finally built a shop that I have that I do most of my all of my work in now in my shop.
Yeah, I can relate to.
Just right here in the bedroom where I can turn around and get in my hospital bed when I need to.
Yeah. Again, sorry for that aspect of your life, but you seem in good spirits. And well, do you have a schedule for those that are interested in your bluegrass band? Again, it's spelled TRUNORTH, True North, without the E on True, and it's all one word, True North.
Yeah.
Where can people see you? I mean, do you,
capital TRU, capital NORTH, all one, all together.
and you're in Lucedale or Lucedale?
Mississippi.
Okay, and where can people see you? Is that 9 times out of 10 that's where you're at? Is right there in Lucedale, Mississippi?
Yeah, we work right along the southern coast here. We don't we do a lot of churches, and we just don't charge a lot for our work. We go, and if they feed us, then we're just as happy as if they paid us.
Exactly. So I mean that there again, it's just like your work. It's the passion. It's not about the money, and that's another thing I admire about you.
That's our little ministry that the 5 of us have. We have a banjo, and we have a mandolin and fiddle player, and lead guitar, bass, and me on rhythm.
Awesome. And if anybody wants to look at that on Facebook, they have a True North Bluegrass on Facebook, and you can see a couple of videos of them playing their stuff. I'm looking all over the place. I have 2 monitors, 1 webcam, and I'm looking everywhere. But anyway,
we're trying to save a little money where we can get some studio time. We'd like to do an album.
oh, that would be awesome. I'd be one of your first customers just because I like to support people I like. Well, not support. I can't support myself. You know what I mean. Anyway, go ahead.
Is there also a YouTube for the music to listen to it?
I wish.
No, not right now. Well, we really hadn't thought about it. I'll be honest.
Michael, do you take requests?
All the guys in the band, all we got we got a school teacher, 2 school teachers. The guy works for the railroad, and me, I'm retired. I'm the only one in the whole bunch that's retired. They call me Dad.
Aw.
Grandpa.
Dad or Grandpa? I think I'd prefer Dad, but Al, were you asking Mike something, Al?
Yeah, does he take requests like dueling banjos? Anyway.
So I had originally talked to Mike about seeing if he could play something on the show, but you know, things happened and he wasn't able to. But
okay.
We'll save that for next time.
All righty, and you're definitely welcome back anytime. But for those watching, we still have 35. That's actually quite a bit. I hate ending shows when there's a lot of people watching. Anyway, next week, unless things change, Steve Twidell will be on Temple Boy Turnings, and I'm working on something for the following week. I mean, it's not a huge surprise or anything. It's just a group thing that I thought was a neat idea, and I will discuss that with the panel after the show. And as soon as I have it in stone, I will announce it publicly. It's not like anybody like Mike Williams. I mean, it's not that big. Wait, that sounds like I'm dogging people. I need to shut up.
While you're ahead.
Yeah, while I'm ahead, if you want to call it that. And I've had the thank you so much, Mike, for being on. I mean, I'm just tickled to death. We've known each other so long, and finally got you a webcam and got to talk face to face. And oh, by the way, for anybody that cares, he's been married 33 years happily. At least that's the way he comes across with it. He doesn't cuss, or almost never cusses. And I think it's clear he's passionate about what he does when it comes to music and scroll saw patterns. Again, his website is mikescrollsawpatterns.com, and you've already made a bunch of sales during the show, man. I mean, so congratulations on that, and I'll be expecting my check tomorrow. So, and a lot of people are complimenting your work and saying great show. Thank y'all, everybody. I appreciate that. Picking and a grinning, says Dave Hart, and Jim Brashears is 38th anniversary today. So he's catching up to you, Mike. So you might have to pause for a little while. Thank you so much for being on. I'm tickled to death. As most of my friends know, I was so excited about having this show.
I'm so glad to have had the opportunity. Started to actually get to see you face to face and actually get to chat with you guys. I appreciate every one of you. Y'all really made this an easy experience for me.
Oh, and it only gets easier unless people don't like you, and I'm starting to wonder with me, but not. It's a long story. Charles Hand is out in the thing, and I know you and him are very good friends. He said, "Good show, guys. Nice to see Mike up close." So Charles Hand watched the show and got to see you, and I know you and him are very close. We talked quite a bit.
Yeah.
Mark Eloy Escajedo has been in the chat. Michael Marcoux, it's French. I can't remember how to spell it or say it. Thank you for watching, Charles Hand, Dave Gatton, Katie Dotson, Andrew Rose, Florence Leedy, all these people I cannot remember. No offense, I just don't want to have to scroll. Great show, everyone. I'm ready to scroll right now. Heck yeah, that's how we want to hear it. Thank you, Al Forte, Donna Presley, who's over there? Rob Austin, Miter Mike, Paul Corliss. My thumbnails are so far away, and of course Mike Williams. It's been awesome. Thank you for watching. Thank y'all for being here. And real quickly, Mike, if they want to contact you just by email, what email address do you prefer they go by?
It's Mike at mikescrollsawpatterns.com.
That made entirely too much sense. So Mike at mikescrollsawpatterns.com. Thank you all so very much for watching. Thank you, Mike, for being here. By God, next week, Steve Dwydell, the Temple Boy Turnings, and we will see you then. But in the meantime, scroll on.
Take care, buddy.
You too. I hit my thumbnail instead of the dang stop broadcast button. I'm getting better at this. Thank you, Donna, for putting that out in the chat. Y'all take two. Scroll on.